So money market instruments are securities that provide businesses, banks, governments with large amount of low-cost capital for a short time. The period would be like overnight, few months, few weeks, but never or less than a year. So why is it important? Businesses need short-term cash because payments for goods and services sold might take time. So like months pa gyud, inana. So without money market instruments, companies would have to wait until payments were received for the goods and services that are sold. So this would delay the purchase of the raw goods and slow down the manufacturing of the finished product. So it's really helpful for business and still also for banks and governments. So we have four types of money market instruments. We have the money market funds, the certificate of deposits, and the commercial papers and bankers acceptance. For the first one, the money market funds, these are intended to offer investors high liquidity with very low level of risk. So this is one thing that is nice about money market fund is because of the low level of risk. So it works like a typical mutual fund. They issue a redeemable units or shares, and they are mandated to follow the guidelines drafted by the financial regulators. So it is also, the money market fund is also an investment that is sponsored by investment fund company. The certificate of deposit or CDs. Bank issues certificate of deposit to raise short-term cash. So the duration is 1 to 6 months. Always like less than a year good. So the CD pays the holder higher interest rates the longer the cash is held. So for example, like is a customer wants to invest like 100 or like put in deposit 100 million or like 1 million 1 million, and then after he can get it after 6 months. But if you want to get it like before 6 months or like mga 3 months or 5 months, the bank can sold the CD to other investors. So in anarchal style. This one we have commercial paper. It is a commonly used type but unsecured. Like honestly, it's unsecured short-term debt instrument issued by corporation. Why is it unsecured? Commercial paper is not usually backed by any form of collateral. So this commercial paper are usually the fund of commercial paper are mga like that look good na fund like other corporations, financial institutions, wealthy individuals. Since commercial paper is issued by like large institutions, so usually large jud ang iyang substantial offerings like let's say millions, around 5 million or more. So lastly, we have bank acceptance. These work like a bank loan for international trade. More siya trading na gyud og type. The bank guarantees that one of its customers will pay for goods received typically 30 to 60 days later. So for example, an importer wants to order goods, but the exporter won't give credit. So he goes to the bank which guarantees the payment, and the bank is accepting the responsibility for the payment. So that's it for the money market instruments. Like it is really useful for like governments, banks, and like businessmen. Tuyok nimo ang money even though that your payments for goods and services are still not yet sold and it might take a few months. So always remember that the size of money supply affects the interest rate or like consequently influencing economic growth. So that's it. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll have the next reporter.